Hey y'all. Hi. Strap in. Are you ready? I'm going to be going through my Sephora account, through the receipts, the literal receipts from last year, and going through every single product that I purchased. I made VIB Rouge in 2024, only because I was buying things for review. So everything, almost everything is something I've already talked about. The things that I haven't, I'm excited to tell you about. And there is an update on every single product on this list. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed. My name is Hannah. I make videos about aesthetics, beauty, lifestyle, fashion. I'm also a published poet. I have a prize-winning book of poetry on the market. I'll link that at the top of the description box down below. And let us now get into the meat of this video. Okay, so some of these products have been given away because when I decide not to keep something and integrate it into my personal makeup collection for long-term use, I try to donate it or give it away to friends and family pretty quickly. I don't like to hang on to things that I'm not using. Some things have been used up in the packaging, disposed of, but a lot of the stuff I have here to actually show you. All right, my friends, let me take you back. Let me take you on a journey all the way back to February 4th of 2024, when I made my first purchase of the year at Sephora. And here's the thing, I hadn't made a purchase since July of 2023. So I was really not buying stuff at Sephora. I guess it's because my baby was born. That makes sense. When I looked at this the first time, I was like, wow, I took a really long break. But it's because I had a baby. I took a couple of months off from work. So it took some time to kind of get the machine of the channel up and running again. And I also think that it's taken me a long time as a person in this work to come around to realizing that I really should be getting stuff to test here and there and just doing that for its own sake, even if it's a little bit expensive for me, even if I maybe wouldn't get it if I wasn't doing this job, that it's just grist for the mill is important and kind of helps keep the channel going. Like that's most of what I'm talking about today. Sometimes I sort of fall off the wagon of remembering to do that and I go back to my no-buy roots where I'm like, Sephora, it's like a bad place. I should never go there. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should go there because this is my job now, you know? So that sort of started happening in February of 2024, and it was kicked off with that lip balm search. The YSL Candy Glaze Lip Gloss Stick in the shade 15, showcasing nude. I remember it well. And the Givenchy Rose Perfecto Lip Balm in the shade 111 Soft Nude. I remember its smell. The Candy Glaze, I remember it well. The Givenchy, I remember its smell. I actually remember the smell of the Candy Glaze as well. It's nice. The Candy Glaze smelled like candy. The Givenchy tasted like someone had sprayed dusty, old-fashioned perfume directly into my mouth. It was so terrible. Both of these products have since been decluttered because they just weren't it, my friends. I got these for a video in my series about the search for the best tinted lip balm. It was one of the early videos that was specifically about designer makeup, like really high-end expensive lip balms. Got a couple things from Sephora and a couple from Nordstrom's for that video. The YSL didn't make it through to my permanent collection because it was too pigmented. It was nice and hefty and goopy, but it was just so pigmented and the color was pretty, but it was a lipstick and I was looking for a sheer balm. And because it was so thick and slidey and so pigmented, I just didn't see myself using it very regularly. So I gave that away. The Givenchy, if I remember correctly, it didn't look bad, but it didn't make it through to my permanent collection because the scent was so strong. Like really, it was too much. $42 and $39 respectively. These products cost. It's so wild. That is so wild. And they are both long gone. March 7th, 2024, I went into a Sephora and I believe I filmed a video about this, talking about going into the Sephora with the baby in the stroller. Was that video? And he was looking around like that. Like he was just like, what is this place? I've never seen anything like this. I think that was this occasion. I went in because there were a couple of things I was curious about, and there was a bit of a follow-up on the lip gloss video. Yes, that was what it was. I did the lip gloss video, and then a bunch of you in the comments were like, well, if you didn't like these, but you're looking for that, you should try XYZ. You should try YSL Candy Glaze, the clear one, the light pink one. You should try the Bobbi Brown Extra Sheer Lip Tint. How wrong you all were. How wrong you were. So I went into Sephora looking for those, and I did indeed get them. The Candy Glaze lip gloss stick in the shade 02 Healthy Glow, and I have it. So I think that's the same product. Yeah, the same product as Showcasing Nude, but just without the pigment. It has the same lovely fruit smell, the same quite stiff gloss stick formula. It's a gloss stick, but it's thicker than most gloss sticks. And it has that lovely, like very, very pale pink, that just reads as a clear, but it just feels special. It's got a little something. It's a lovely product. It's the most makeup-y of my nourishing glosses. The products that I have that I just put on when I have dry lips, when I'm out and about, not to add color, not to add makeup, but just a little bit of shine. It's like the shiniest and most makeup-y of those products. And I really like it. I'm glad that I have it. Bobbi Brown Extra Sheer Lip Tint Oil-Infused Balm in the shade Bare Blackberry. However, that was secretly a pH adjusting product. It had that dye in it that gives a fake, like, adjusting, makes your lips the perfect color adjusting. Why? Why did it do that? It's supposed to be this color, blackberry, a dark berry tint. Instead, I mean, I guess it had a little bit of that tint. Oh no, what happened was I put it on the back of my hand to swatch when I was filming the video, and I saw that it was pH adjusting, and I was like, I'm not even going to put this on my lips. I remember I never even put it on my lips because that bright pink dye sneaked into a product. That is my pet peeve. I was not even going to give Bobbi Brown Extra Sheer Lip Tint a chance after she tried to pull that on me. I gave it away. I gave it away to someone who really wanted it, and that was great. So while I was in Sephora on that same trip, I was drawn into the Gucci display, as one so often is in Sephora, and I purchased, also for review, the Gucci Hydrating Plumping Lip Gloss in Suzanne Brown. Extremely plumping and irritating to the lips, right? This is one of those lip plumpers that if you overline with it, if you get it on your vermilion border, it'll make it look like you have a rash around your lips. So it like really brings blood to your lips and really darkens the color. It's pretty intense. A little bit goes kind of a long way, and then it's very sticky. So then if I decide to wipe it off and put something else on, it's a whole ordeal. It's a pretty color though, and it looks really good on its own. This is a plumping gloss that I would wear on its own, but that I wouldn't use to plump my lips as a skincare step, which I often do with plumping glosses. I kept it. I like it. I would say it's just okay for me. The other thing I bought from the Gucci display on that fateful trip to Sephora was the Gucci Luminous Face and Lip Gloss, which I still have. I haven't gotten rid of it because I have this idea that I haven't fully tested it yet, that I like don't know whether I like it or not. I mean, I think the truth is that I've had it around since March 7th. I've had it around since March 7th of last year, and I haven't found a good use for it, and I haven't like found myself reaching for it really ever, and that's why I feel like I don't have experience with it, and that really should tell us all we need to know. I don't have it on hand because for some reason my toddler has chosen it as one of like the intriguing items that he feels he needs to carry around. He just likes it. Maybe what happened was I let him make off with it. I didn't take it back and put it back in my makeup bag. I was like, oh, that's fine. You can have that. So this is the review, actually. My toddler took it away and I was like, you can have that. You can put it in your makeup bag in the playroom. He's not using it. He's not using it. He can't open it. He's not putting Gucci gloss on his lips and eyes, okay? He has a little collection of makeup in a spare Merit bag like this. He has one of these with his own little collection. And I think that's where the Gucci gloss is. I couldn't find it. Once in a while, he opens it up and he's like, makeups, because he has intelligently but incorrectly assumed that the plural of makeup is makeups. March 21st, I placed an order, I think again, just for review, like products that I wanted to review. And I probably filmed a video just about these products. There was one in here, though, that wasn't for review and that I haven't talked about. It's the Higher Dose Serotonin Soak Magnesium Bath Salt. I am so obsessed with this stuff for a really intense bath. The smell is very strong and medicinal. Kind of camphor. I want to say it smells like camphor. It's really overwhelming, but I love it. I love it. This is making me want to buy it again. It was out of stock at Sephora for so long that I'm literally like adding it to my basket as I talk to you. I'm multitasking over here. I went to the Higher Dose website and ordered like 4 of them. You can buy like a 3-pack or a 5-pack or something and get a slight discount. And I did that. And then I went through them. It's so good for really relaxing your body. Kind of expensive, $40. Oh my gosh, so expensive. $40 for a pretty sizable, though, bag of bath salt that I got a lot of baths out of. If you are a bath-taking bee, like I am, if all you need, all you want in life is a really hot medicinal bath to shock your system and make you like melt and fall apart and have a good night's sleep, Higher Dose, y'all. Everything else is makeup for the video. So the Glossier Cloud Paint Gel Cream Bronzer in Swept, it's the medium shade, and I remember it I don't have it, I gave it away. I remember it looking really gray in the pictures and being hopeful that it would be an even better color for me than Glossier Dusk, but it just wasn't. I think I remember it just just still being too warm, not better than the blushes that I love using. Even though I really like the Glossier Cloud Paint formula, I ended up giving that away. The Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette. I was so intrigued by the dual formulas, the cream and powder together, the colors. I just thought, wow, this is something that might end up being like my everyday. It looked so beautiful. Even the rose, like the rose colors were not too warm tone, not too pink. It's like these grungy roses. I really had high hopes, and I reviewed it, and I felt that the putty formula was like too slidey and silicone-y. I didn't like it. The powders were good, but it was really like the putties that I got it for. I was hoping to use them, lip, cheeks, eyes. I was hoping to just have this palette and use it all over my face all the time. And it didn't end up being that. For me, I didn't get along well with the formula, and I gave it to a friend. The Refi Mascara, the Lash Sculpt, Lengthen, and Lift Mascara. I got this because Refi is a brand of interest to me. I like a lot of their products, and I wanted to review this new launch at the time. And the wand shape is just asking to be investigated and discussed. I didn't end up liking that. I think the formula was really good. I didn't like the wand shape. I felt like it was too fussy. It was effective. Like I could get it to do what it said. I could get a pretty dramatic lash from it, but because it was so thin, it took a really long time to sit there and like sculpt. Is what it says, lash sculpt. Like it gives you a tool to really sculpt your lashes. But most days I don't want to be a lash sculptor. I just want to be a lash scribbler. I just want to be a lash finger painter. I just want to be a lash coloring book girl. Okay. I just want to get it on there and go. I didn't end up falling in love with it. I use it for a little while. And then Hope Springs Eternal in the Beauty Guru's chest, right? I got another YSL lip product, the YSL Love Shine Lip Oil Stick. I was like, oh, maybe this will be less pigmented, because I think that they were advertising it as being less pigmented than the pigmented version of the other YSL product. And I like this chunky packaging. I like the smell. I wanted to find one that was the best tinted balm from YSL. I thought, oh, maybe they've done it now. No, very pigmented and thinner than this product, not even as nourishing. It was even more like a very pigmented lip oil instead of a very pigmented glossy balm. So it was even worse than the first one. And I gave it away. June 18th. Wow. Okay. So this is the order that I placed just to do the Farrah Homidi review. But clearly I sneaked some things in around the edges. The Farrah Homidi products I still have. The jury's kind of still out on them. I did that review. There were pros and cons. I had sort of a mixed experience with them, but I think it was overall positive. I was overall like, these are so amazing. They're so beautiful. But what happened was I put them in my makeup bag and they just sunk to the bottom because they're heavy as rocks. And I never used them. I never reached for them. I think there's just a little bit of a barrier to entry with using them. A little bit of fussiness, a little bit, this is kind of abstract, okay? But I feel like when I really love a piece of makeup, there's this sense of like a gooey center. Like I can't wait to bite into it. I look in my makeup bag, I see it, and I'm like, oh, get to use that. I'm so excited. Like right now I'm kind of having that about this Dior palette every single day. I'm like, oh, it just feels like biteable, like a yummy treat is coming. And I never felt that way about these. I always saw them there and I was like, oh, should I try to make those work today? And then I would default to something that gave me that gooey center feeling instead. It was another thing that I bought in this order, just not to test in the Farrah Homidi video, but to test on the side. And that's the Refi Brightening Concealer, product of the year, product of the century. I love it so much. So I bought the fairest shade when it had first launched, Fair with Neutral Undertones, color 1. At the time, I was like, wow, this is incredibly beautiful. Like the finish. I remember Simbri was here shortly after that. I had put it on. I remember running out into the living room and being like, look at my skin, like turning my face so that the light would catch it and just being like, can you believe it? I am obsessed with how this product makes my skin look. It's just, it gives a glisten that isn't reflective. It's almost like a wet look glisten, but it's like the dampness of healthy skin. It's difficult to describe, even though I've tried multiple times. But many of you who have gotten it based on my recommendation have come into the comments and been like, we see what you mean and you're right, and it's great. There's just something about the finish. It's also, the coverage is really good, but it can be sheared out. It's beautiful for use all over the face as your only base product, which is what I use concealers for. Oh my goodness, I just love it. However, at the time, shade 1, I was like, this is way too light. It's a very bright white, neutral, like not too pink and not too yellow, but a very bright white shade. I was using it, but I then went later in my next order and I bought the next shade down. No, the next neutral shade, color 3. So I skipped over either a yellow or a pink and I went to the next neutral shade. And then at that time, I was mixing them together. But this was June, right? And I think even though I don't really tan, I think that my skin was maybe a shade darker then than it is now. Lately, I have only been using the fairest shade. And this has become like my default default skin coverage product. It's just so truly wonderful. I love it. I love, love, love it. This one that I bought, this is the full update. This tube of it that I bought on June 18th, I used up and have since replaced with a new one. And that's the one that I have in my makeup bag right now. The other tube, I'm getting into the next order. The other tube, the Fair 3 that I was mixing all summer long and into the fall, I was mixing them together on my face. I slowly phased out that one and I've just been using the fairest one. And so I still have that one. It's not used up yet. Before we get there, let's talk about the fourth thing that was in this order, which is another bath product. And I still have it. Isn't this kind of fierce? The Kate McLeod Sleep Pebble. It's a solid bath and shower oil. So you just drop one into the bath and it sort of dissolves, but it has a lot of cocoa butter in it. And it also has a little bit of fizzing stuff. It smells like lavender. It's really, really nice. And I haven't used it up. Right? I haven't used them up since I got it on June 18th, but all of those bags of the magnesium soak from Higher Dose or whatever I have used up. So clearly it hasn't really been my bath product of top choice. I prefer something that's going to like smack me over the head a little bit more, but I have used a lot of them and I do really like it. I like having it. And it's nice that it's lasted a really long time in my collection of stuff that I put in the bath. You know, I didn't fall head over heels with it. I probably won't buy it again when I'm done, but it is just it's a nice thing. It's a nice thing to know about. Okay, June 26th, so not that much longer after, I was just raring to go to get the other shade of Refi concealer so that I could mix them together and get the exact shade for my skin at the time. These are the two Refi concealers, shade 1 and shade 3. I did an entire dedicated review, like an entire video only reviewing this one product after I realized how extraordinary it was. I'll just link that in the cards and down below. So if you want to know more, click through and watch that whole entire video about the Refi concealers. In that same order, I got the Edam Dew Dream Hydrating Makeup Removing Cleansing Balm with Tiger Grass. Kind of a splurge, even for review for me, because it's like a $34 cleansing balm. But I remember at the time I was out of cleansing balm, like I was out of makeup remover, and this had just launched and I was like, oh, it's a new hot product. I could try it and review it, and I kind of made sense of it that way. And I did not live to regret it because it was an amazing product. I used it all up. The packaging is long gone. This was months ago. It's an excellent, excellent cleansing balm. And also just, I'm glad to be able to review and support Edam. It's a brand that makes products specifically for melanated skin, and I love to see that at Sephora. The third thing in that order was this, the Crown Affair Texturizing Air Dry Hair Mousse. Interesting. So I love Crown Affair. The products have the most amazing, just addictive, high-end smelling, but like a fresh version of a Santal. The scent is so good. It's so now. It's so good. It's so perfect for a hair product. The same scent is in the finishing gel that I use when I'm trying to get rid of flyaways when I'm putting my hair back in like a low pony or something like that. And that to me is like the best. I love that product. It's so good. And it just fills its role so perfectly. So when I saw they had released a texturizing air dry hair mousse, I was like, I have to try that. You put it in your hair when it's wet and then you let your hair air dry and it's supposed to bring texture. I can get a lot of texture in my hair, but I have to put like a little bit of a gel in and then use a diffuser when I'm drying it and sort of push it up, get it into a slightly curved, like curled shape, or get the strands a little wavy and like dry them in a wavy shape with the gel in them, with the diffuser, in order for like, I think this is like 4th day hair or something, in order for them to have this pieciness and texture on the 3rd and 4th day, which isn't all that much. It's not like curls or something. It'll be curls on the 1st day. Then it turns into this. If I just let it air dry, it becomes all this sort of smooth fluff that doesn't hang how I want it to. It's just not it. I was like, well, maybe I can get this and use this and then not have to heat style my hair once a week when I wash it. My experience has been, it does give me more texture than just air drying my hair without this, but less texture than I was getting with the hair dryer, with the diffuser. I've used it a couple times over the months, and then I've kind of gone back to the diffuser because when it's the moment of truth, when I'm staring down the barrel of like about to dry my hair, the barrel of my wet hair, you know, I could open door A, which is this, and potentially get slightly lackluster texture, or I could open door B, which is the tried and true method of using the diffuser to get those wild curls and then, you know, the shape that I prefer for the whole rest of the week. And I've been going with the tried and true because I haven't wanted to take the risk. I don't know if I've used this since I cut my hair though. And now that it's been released of its weight, it might actually do better. I'm still willing to give it a try. It didn't become the staple in my hair care routine that I expected it to become right away. Okay. It didn't do that. That's pretty much my review, but I'm willing to continue giving it a try. Okay. That was June 26th. Wow. I took a long break after that. All of July July, August. What happened? We had moved. I think that was what it was, the move. It hit like a ton of bricks. It really sucked the life out of us. I couldn't even manage to place a Sephora order. You can just see it in my Sephora order history. July, August, September, nothing. And then at the very end of September, listen to this sad story. At the very end of September, there is an order. Here on record, September 23rd, 2024, Sephora at the Grove, which is like the giant glamorous Sephora at the Grove, this big outdoor shopping center in Los Angeles. I was there because I was going to Creators and Friends in Palm Springs. We were all there. The whole family was there. And we had gone to the Grove one evening. We were staying in LA with our friends for a few days and then we were going to drive to Palm Springs. The evening before we drove out to Palm Springs, we went to the Grove for dinner. Joe and the baby and I think that were at the restaurant and our friends were coming to meet them. Or maybe I had the baby and Joe was waiting to meet our friends. It's all foggy, but I think I blocked it out because of this traumatic event that I'm about to share. I went to the Grove. I didn't have nails, right? I didn't have any nails and I was like, I can't go to Creators and Friends and see all of my creator friends, other influencers. That's who it is. Like my friends who do the same work that I do. Some new friends who I hadn't met yet. Some people I've known for years and I just hadn't seen them in person in a long time. I was like, I can't show up without nails. So I went to Sephora and I picked out these nails. It says that I bought Glamnetic Confetti short almond press-on nails with French tips in various pastel hues. They're so cute. And Glamnetic Heavenly short almond press-on nails with a minimalist outline French tip. However, I remember I bought 3 pairs of nails on this occasion and the third one was a limited edition shiny red and it's not showing up in the order history, which is making me realize something I've long suspected, which is that a limited edition thing that's no longer stocked at Sephora will disappear from your order history. That's gone, but it was actually 3 pairs of nails. I think the red ones were the ones that I was planning to wear, or maybe the pastel ones because it was Palm Springs. It would have been so cute. On the way back, I was in Sephora. I actually did have the baby with me, I remember, because I was pushing the stroller. I had the Sephora, and that was maybe why this happened. I had the Sephora bag over my arm. I was like, I got my nails, and on my way back to dinner to meet them at the restaurant, there was one of those like sunglass huts outdoors, like an outdoor booth, kind of like a food cart, but for sunglasses. There are a bunch of things like that outdoors at the Grove. I think I like didn't have any sunglasses or I'd lost my sunglasses or something. Immediately it was like, oh, I'm going to check out the sunglasses. So I went to the sunglasses and tried on some sunglasses. I think I bought a pair of sunglasses, like inexpensive sunglasses from there, then went to dinner. When we got home, my friends, the Sephora bag was nowhere to be found on my person, in the diaper bag, in the stroller, anywhere. And I realized that I had put it down. Like I cast my mind back and I realized I had put it down on the sunglasses stand on the shelf to look at sunglasses and I had left it there. I'd walked away and the lady who was selling sunglasses that day had become the proud owner of 3 brand new sets of Glamnetic nails and I had none. Luckily I had a backup set in my luggage. I didn't want to wear them. They weren't as fierce as these, but I wore them in Palm Springs. It was fine. November 11th. Now I know there are things missing because this was the trip to, I'm looking at November 11th. I'm going to my own YouTube channel, youtube.com/HannahLouisePoston. That's what I'm navigating to right now. Okay, the video that I made about this trip to Sephora was called Sephora Sale Haul. LOL, I have regrets. Yeah, this makes sense. I remembered that I bought more than 2 things, but I think it was only 3 things. And the third thing was the Summer Fridays lip balm set, those little lip balms. And that was just a holiday thing. And so it's disappeared from the receipts because it's no longer in stock because it was just for holiday. The other 2 things are here. The Merit Brow 1990 Ultrafine Eyebrow Gel Pencil. It's so good and it's so inefficient because I think this is what it is. The gel quality of the pencil gives a really natural brow look, full, really hair-like, not too intense, makes it easy to get really hair-like strokes. And I just love going in and just filling in the front of my brows, just making them, it's like I can draw in the front. This isn't what's in my brows today. I have the Typology in today, the Typology gel, and they're pretty recently dyed. But with this Merit pencil, it's like I can draw in the shape of the front and fill it in without it looking too dark. And that's because it's a gel pencil. It's just designed to work beautifully. But also because it's a gel pencil, it's really soft and it wears down really quickly. And then it makes me want to use it a lot and to use a lot of it at one time. And to make a long story short, the consequence is that it gets used up in about 2 weeks when I have it. So they had sent me one as PR and I had used it, loved it, and then used it up in 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, I need it again. It's gone. While I was at Sephora with Stephanie, Beauty Unhyped, on this occasion. And the video, I'll link the video that I made about this trip to Sephora. I unwisely bought it again in the shade Brown Black, and I have since totally used it up, of course, because it only takes about 2 weeks. And this is a shade that I don't like as much, brown, that I just have hanging around and I use once in a while. But it's not the same. Brown Black is the color. And the other thing I bought that day was the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Illusion Eyeshadow Duo. This is in the shade Still at the Club. I loved it when I reviewed it for that video. I absolutely loved it, especially this shiny one. I remember feeling like it was the replacement for that old busted shadow that I had depotted from the Jacqueline Hill Morphe palette that I was like, where have you been all my life? I just was like, this is the perfect kind of neutral grungy brown. The formulas are perfect for me. Everything's perfect. And then I stopped using it after that because I got it in my head that it leans purple. I don't like purple eyeshadow. It just doesn't really lean purple. It's like I conceive of it in a way that doesn't align with how it is, and that subconsciously keeps me from reaching for it. I need to shop my stash for this or something. I really like it and I never use it. I think of it and I'm like, oh, that plum colored eyeshadow, but it's just not, Hannah. Okay, on December 19th, I went to Sephora basically just to prep a video. I wanted to make a video about the makeup that I would buy at Sephora if I was physically there, and I was just looking around for things that interested me as a consumer, not like as a reviewer trying to review what's new and hot, reviewing the things that I might have just like naturally bought if I were on a little shopping spree on my own. You know what I mean? This video is pretty recent. You may have seen it. I ended up getting this NARS eyeshadow palette that I actually weirdly really liked. I mean, it's not that I don't like it anymore. It's just that since then I filmed this video about the things that I was inspired to review, inspired by my friend Lauren May Beauty, and I got this Dior palette and it's just blown the NARS out of the water. You can see that the shades that I like from the NARS, these sort of shiny neutral shades, the ones that have gotten more use, it has that kind of thing in common with the Dior palette, this middle row, that center top. But then the other ones, the colorful mattes that I'm less likely to use from NARS, in this palette, there's like a black, a burgundy, a slight shiny white, like just things that I'm much more likely to use. So this is the winningest 9 pan that I reviewed over the past few months for just like taking with me everywhere and using all the time. It's what I have on my lids today. This is a really good palette that NARS made. I just gotta say, it's like a lovely, punchy, pointed piece of NARS makeup with use value. And if you're more into those colorful mattes than you are into the neutrals, it might be. It was limited edition, I think, or maybe it was for holiday, but it's clearly still at Sephora because it's still in my receipts. However, the winner, the smash hit from that visit, I think entirely the standout NARS Bewitched. I would totally never have bought this if I hadn't gone to the store in person, but I saw it and I was like, what's that? And then I was able to touch it, swatch it, blend it on the back of my hand, feel how lovely and kind of velvety but moisturizing the formula is. And I love the way this shade looks. Today on my lips, I applied this with a lip brush and kind of blurred the edges and made it a bit soft. And then I went on top of it with, this is the Edam Softening Lip Balm in Boba Bounce. I didn't buy this. This was PR. A beautiful product that clearly pairs really well with the NARS lipstick. But I've been wearing this so much since I got it a month ago, right? Pretty much a month ago. It's definitely my most worn lip product over this past month. I wore it all through the holidays, everything. In so many videos since then. It's just so good. The Youth to the People sleeping mask, or I guess, night cream mask, mini super berry. It's a mini of the super berry. I've been testing a lot of skincare lately, so I haven't used this all the way up, not because a little goes that long of a way, but because I haven't used it every single night. I've used it a lot, so it has lasted pretty well, pretty admirably well, given that it's been over a month since I bought this. I absolutely love it. You in the comments, you were right. It's so good. If I didn't have so much skincare that I'm testing, well, but I'm trying to do better at like getting the things that I really want for myself that'll be the best for my skin and not just leaving it up to the winds of chance. What I was gonna say is if I didn't have all of this other skincare that I'm testing, if I could justify it, then I would get it for myself. But maybe I should just do it because it's really good. My skin is so soft when I use it. It doesn't quite provide that occlusive layer of the final step, but what I would use is like a light face oil or something pressed on top of it, and then it's like the perfect sleeping pack, the perfect night mask. Ugh, the full size is really expensive, so I don't know. Ulla Henriksen Pout Preserve Hydrating Peptide Lip Treatment in Creme Brulee Glimmer. I have this in the non-glimmery creamsicle, the original. That was a gift at Creators and Friends, so I didn't buy that, and I really, really love it. And I was hoping to really love this. Lauren is right. The creme brulee flavor is just disgusting. I loved how it looked. I hated how it smelled, and it just ruined and cheapened everything about it for me. used it in a video, this video. I applied it, disliked it, and I immediately put it back into its box and just gave it away to my cousin the next time I saw her. The Topical Sealed Active Scar Filling Primer. Not bad. I have continued to use it here and there on days when I feel like the pores, and especially like under my eyes here, are looking particularly bad. But I have been taking better care of my skin in the new year. I've been spending more time on my skin. I've been using a product that I'll show you in a second that I think has actually helped with the tone and moisture of my skin. So I haven't wanted to use it as much. Through the holidays, after filming this video, I did make a lot of use of this because I was just juggling a lot and I was feeling pretty wretched and my skin was looking bad, and I was making a lot of use of this to sort of smooth my skin underneath makeup. But since I've started using more skincare, it's kind of dropped off. The Tower 28 Serum Concealers. Didn't like them. I did not like them. I found them bizarrely too chalky. It was like the serum formula was really thin and spreadable, but then there was a lot of pigment suspended in it. So it would dry down or soak in and it would leave behind kind of a dry finish. Like when I first started using them, I was like, oh, my skin's just really dry. And then I kept on testing them under different circumstances and I was like, no, they are just dry on me. Maybe good if you have oily skin, but I also gave them away to my cousin. Okay, and then the final order of the year. I think this is the only one that I can say was sort of just for me. Like everything else was really specifically for a specific video or stuff that I felt would be advantageous for the channel for me to review, to be using, that you guys would really like to see me review. Really, all of it was grist for the content mill. And then I'm lucky that some of the products ended up being really great and ended up being things that I have kept and incorporated into my everyday routine or my pretty regular makeup routine. But this order, I just wanted to replace the Refi Concealer, the lightest shade. Since the weather's gotten colder, I've just been using this, and I will also often mix it, the shade 1, with a different foundation product, like a concealer from a different brand that just needs a little brightening up. I'll like use it in my under eyes, and that's where it really, really like makes the skin luminous. So I needed to replace my other tube that was used up and dried out. So I got this, and then I also got a few things that I just really wanted for myself and to try, but also that it makes sense for me to have for the channel. One of them is this. This is a skincare product that I was saying I've been using that I think has really been helping my skin. It smells kind of herbal. It smells like a wildflower meadow. Honestly, it really does. It smells fresh, really fresh. It really smells like being outdoors in the summer. I think that might be part of why I like it. Definitely the situation with this product is it's what I have been saying about skincare. It's like the best skincare is the skincare that makes you use it. If the sensory experience is right, like the smell is good, the texture, the packaging, like the bottle, visually you notice it, it makes you want to use it, you don't forget it, you are willing to spend the time. Like with this, put a couple drops in, pat it into my face, pat, 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 then a few more drops, pat, 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 pat until it soaks in. And I do that like 3 to 5 times in the morning or the evening, and it just plumps my skin right up, helps with that issue I was having with the pores. Over time, I feel like my skin has gotten softer, more moisturized because I've been using this consistently. So clearly it works, but it also is making me use it. And I think it is partly because I like chose it. It didn't come in PR. It was like, I looked at it, I read the ingredients, I read the claims, I saw the bottle, I know the brand, and I was like, I want that and I want to use it and I'm going to buy it. So I feel like I've bonded with it more than I have with other products of its kind. Really, really glad that I decided to go out on a little bit of a limb and get that for myself. And $34, I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not that much, especially for something that I feel so excited about and happy about. Weirdly, now that I have it in the context of how much I've enjoyed it, I wouldn't have blinked if I'd looked at the receipt and seen that it was like $80. I would be like, oh, that's a lot expensive, but it's worth it to me. So it's nice to see that. That's totally something I could repurchase and feel good about. I really wanted to try the brown Lancome Lashy Doll because this is such an iconically great mascara. They came out with a brown, they called it True Brown, which really tricked me. I'm wearing it today. It just doesn't look that brown on me, I don't think. I think it really looks black. If nothing else, like a very soft black. For something to really look taupey brown on my lashes, it has to be like quite a pale color. So I regret this. I mean, I'm reviewing it. It's grist for the mill, I'm telling you now. It says True Brown, but it's not. It's just the same as every other brown mascara essentially on the market. Not actually brown if you're really pale. The formula is good. I don't know. I'm so obsessed with the Cali Ray mascara and the Ami Colé mascara right now that even the formula I struggled with a little bit when I was applying it today for this video. And then lastly, I threw into that order another pair of Glamnetic nails. These are the petal nails, the short ovals with the semi-transparent base with those raised flowers, those like flower applique. I had these on for like 2 weeks. And so I filmed a bunch of videos. You might have seen them. You know, they were a little springy. When they arrived and I put one over my nail, they were so cute. And that short oval length is so fantastic from Glamnetic. I was just like, I have to put them on. I should have saved them for spring. Maybe I'll get them again for spring. They were so cool. I love, I don't know. I'm really into keeping it a little more minimal with my wardrobe, but having like some excitement on my nails. That's like a balance that I'm into these days. And that's it. The next order was in January and it's the order I placed to create that video. Lauren May Beauty made me buy it. So that video should already be up long ago on the channel. So I'll link that one if you're curious to know what happened next in the saga of me placing orders from Sephora. This is so interesting. I feel like this is totally appropriate to the work that I'm doing. As you've seen, as we've gone through it, so many of these products are no longer in my life because it was a no. I used them for the purpose for which I acquired them, which was content creation. And then it was a no from me and I ended up giving them away. And so they're no longer here. Or they were so great that I used them up and they're no longer here. Both of those to me are actually ideal outcomes in this weird new relationship. Not that new, but new compared to how my relationship with makeup was like back before I started my channel or in the early days of my channel when orders like this weren't paying for themselves. But now not only are they paying for themselves, but it's the other way around. Like when I place these orders, they are in order for the channel to create content and for that content to generate income. So it's like the tables have really, really turned. The relationship that I have with orders like this has really, really changed. But I also feel like in the light of that, it's somewhat tempered. Like it's just maybe roughly an order a month, but also with all those missed months in the middle. So spread out over the course of the year and a lot of things that I was able to give like deep and cutting reviews on and reviews of interest, at least to me. Like this is all fascinating stuff. This is like the stuff that I want to know about. The tinted lip balms, the concealers, the gooey centers of Sephora of the year. And I hope that it was helpful for you to hear how I'm feeling about some of these products after, you know, a year or most of a year with some of them after the year is done. And pretty much all of them have gone on their merry way. Everyone that was going to go on its merry way has gone. And the ones that are keepers, like the ones that I keep trying, like keep making it work, or that have just definitely entered the core of my makeup collection, they've also gone on their merry way, like to the place that they're going to be, the place they are now. I hope it was useful for you because a lot of these videos, they were just either first impressions or impressions after a couple of days. And I think it's always good to circle back and update. Thank you for spending this time with me. What fun to film like a good long product review video every once in a while. It's the kind of thing I've been really enjoying watching on Lauren's channel, and it's made me want to make that kind of thing myself every once in a while. So this has been really enjoyable for me, even though I feel like my voice is at the end of its capacity. I hope it's been enjoyable for you to watch. And I really hope you're taking extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.